So hi everyone, if you are new here, then my name is Nikhil Ambikar, currently a second year food technology student at University Institute of Chemical Technology. And in today's video, I will be talking about what would happen to a body if we stopped eating sugar. So let's get started. But before moving to the video, we will firstly understand what is the sugar and the types of sugar and what actually the sugar is, like the characteristics associated with sugar. So let's get started. Firstly, what is meant by sugar? Sugar is a colorless or water-soluble compound present in the sap of a seed plants and the milk of mammals, and they make up the simplest group of carbohydrates. Okay, and basically they are the carbohydrates, and as with other carbohydrates, they also contain carbon, hydrogen and oxygen molecules. The sugars are naturally occurring and we can also produce them artificially. Like these are also called as processed sugars. Like for example, sucrose, that is the table sugar, that we can produce the table sugar from sugarcane as well as sugar beets from commercial methods. And when we talk about stopping the intake of sugar, then there are some recommendations on the intake of sugar, such as there are evidences which shows that eating patterns which include low intake of added sugars are associated with reduced risk of cardiovascular disease. Like there is a moderate evidence that these eating patterns, like the low intake of glucose, low intake of sugar, is also associated with reduced risk of obesity. It can also reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes and some types of cancers in adults. Further, there is a moderate evidence of relationship between the added sugars and the dental caries in children and adults. So actually what happens, sugar is a molecule, organic molecule, which actually there are some acids that are present in our mouth. So what actually happens when the sugars get contact further, when the reaction between all the sugars and these acids take place, so what will happen? The formation of alcohol take place. So for the continuation of the reaction between that acid and that sugar, it can damage the upper layer of the teeth, because of which we will be more prone to dental caries in case of the children. The sugar is found in lots of foods, but actually it isn't good for us. It's fine to treat yourself in moderation, but have you ever wondered like what would happen to your body if you just stopped eating the sugar? But there is a reason why sugar is hard to shake. Like for one, it's delicious, but sugar also causes the opioid receptors in your brain to activate, which triggers the neurological reward system to activate. And what will happen? It will make us feel happier and there will be more satiety. In other words, the sugar makes us feel good emotionally, and despite all the negative side effects, that is the excess consumption of sugars can lead to headaches, energy crashes and even the hormonal imbalances in our body. But however, it is important to note that the processed sugars are different than the natural sugars. Like natural sugars are those which occur in fruit, honey and unsweetened milk. Okay, and the refined sugars, processed sugars, are otherwise known as sucrose, which are highly processed from sugarcane and sugar beets. And the processed sugars are high in calories and they do not have any real nutritional value, while some natural sugars also contain the vitamins and the minerals, like from the fruits and the milk, the fructose sugar and the lactose sugar. Overall, main cause of all these things is the high glycemic index of these sugars, like of highly processed sugars. So what actually happens in the high glycemic index is that the spike of blood sugars forms in the blood. Like when you are eating a highly processed sugar, so what happens in your body? The spikes of blood sugars can be seen in the blood in very drastically. So it changes very drastically. It spikes the blood sugar levels very fastly and drop them quickly as well. So what happens? It leads to a kind of roller coaster effect on blood sugars, because as the blood sugar levels rise, you will experience a quick increase in energy. As increase of the sugar in your blood, you will also see the increase in the levels of your energy. But sadly, because those levels become regulated quickly, okay, and energy or sugar crash is not far behind the spike, especially when dealing with the added sugars. Like instantly you are getting the spike from 0 to 10, and again it is again going to come from 10 to 0. So there will be sugar crashes maybe seen in your body, especially when dealing with the added sugars. And everyone's body uses the enzymes in small intestine to break down the sugar into glucose. Typically this isn't a problem, as glucose from carbohydrates are stored as an energy source in our body. But what happens when we are consuming excess amounts of carbohydrates, excess amount of sugars? So what actually happens? The glucose that are excess in our body, so they get converted into the fat, so leading to a weight gain and obesity. And this only happens if you are not minding to the portions of the food that you are consuming. And most of the people are addicted to the sugar, even me, as I also like to eat more sugary food, more sweet food, whether we realize it or not. And here these are some examples of the foods with high sugar content, like high fructose corn syrup, soft drinks and energy drinks. Energy drinks spikes the blood sugar levels. You will feel more energized instantly, and then after that again exhausted, and those cycle repeated. As well as some brands of cereals and granola bars, as well as barbecue sauce and other popular store bought sauces, pre-packaged cookies, crackers and snack cakes. And there is a much more long list for these sugary foods. And eliminating the sugar in your diet is very difficult, but it can be done. And there are a lot of benefits of eliminating sugar in your body. Now we will understand like what happens to our body when we just stop eating sugar. It is very difficult to omit the sugar from your regular diet, but if you are able to do that, then it will be going to have a significant impact on our health. If you are someone who always wants to eat something sweet after the dinner or the lunch. So they may find it very difficult to during this transition from eating the sugar, just omitting the sugar from your diet. Because of omitting the sugar or not eating the sugar, your moods can change drastically. You just stop eating sugar, and the sugar in your body releases the feel-good hormone such as dopamine and serotonin in the brain, which activates the body rewarding system. In simple words, the more the sugar we consume, the more better we feel. But as it only temporarily, and as you begin to cut down on the sugar intake, the body begins to sense this. Your body senses that okay, that this person is limiting his intake of sugars. Your body starts to feel cranky, irritable, and especially in the first 1 to 2 days or in the first few days, you will going to feel all these things. And in this period, many people experiences fatigue, headaches, feeling of sadness and depression, and this will be occurring after the 1 to 2 weeks as you start with stopping in the eating sugar. And after that, your body's energy will begin to improve. You will feel more alive and less irritable. So there are many benefits that are associated with the stopping the intake of sugars in your body, and we will see one by one. The first is you won't get sick as often. When we consume high amounts of sugar, then we are actually making havoc in the immune system in your body. Like when we stop the eating sugar in your body, our immune system is able to function in the way that it was designed. The chronic inflammation is linked with the higher sugar consumption, and it lowers your immune system response and making us more susceptible to colds and flu throughout the year. And when we stop eating the sugar, we are more likely to find ourselves healthier and less likely to catch a cold or flu. The one reason for this is that the white blood cells, the first defense system of a body, like for up to 5 hours after you have eaten a bunch of sugar, like when you consume a meal full of sugars, high amounts of sugar, then the white blood cells are 50% less able to fight off bad bacteria. So you are just reducing the ability of those white blood cells to fight off the bad bacteria by consuming high amounts of sugars. The second benefit is that you will be more mentally sharp. Like if you actually want to be more productive, if you want that your mental productivity should increase, improve your cognition, then you should stop eating sugar. Once you will do this, you will find how much more focused and clear your mind becomes. A study in 2014 explains how much high fructose diet causes hippocampal insulin resistance while also exacerbating memory defects. Another study published for molecular neurobiology found a link between sugar consumption and the negative changes in the brain's frontal cortex, changes that are associated with additional cognitive problems. You should stop eating sugar and your mind will reward you in these aspects. And the third is you also reduce the risk of diabetes. One of the primary causes of developing type 2 diabetes is eating large amounts of sugar, large chunks of sugar. So this means we have some amount of control over our diabetes risk. The majority of us can prevent the fatal disease if we make a bold choice to stop the sugar intake. And sugar increases our risk of becoming diabetic because high blood sugar levels are a large part of diabetic equation. Eating a lot of sugar spikes the blood sugar levels. As we talked earlier, over the time, the high blood sugar levels can cause the insulin resistance, which counterparts the increasing sugar levels in your blood, which wreaks the havoc in your liver as well as pancreas and other organs of our body. And while many factors contribute to diabetes, sugar is one of the very key culprit which can contribute to the diabetes in your body. The fourth is you will lose weight. It's obvious that every time you eat the sugar-laden food, it contributes to the weight gain. However, even more powerful mechanisms are at play when we talk about the sugar, weight gain and obesity. Sugar consumption is associated with the hormones responsible for maintaining a healthy weight as well as those who support the healthy weight loss. Sugar also impacts the part of your brain that controls the appetite. Eating a diet high in sugars makes your brain think that it's still hungry, when in reality there is no need to keep eating. Sugar also causes changes in the brain, making it addicted to the sugar and craving more and more sugar the more you eat. And it's highly a vicious cycle. If you trap into that cycle, you will not able to get out of that very easily. While everyone's weight loss journey is different, no matter who you are. When you stop eating sugar, losing weight is much more easier with lots of diet and exercises, proper exercises. The fifth is you will feel lighter, brighter and happier. Eating your favorite cake or ice cream makes you feel happy, better in short term, in short tenure. But over the long time, your mental health can take a beating. Like, do you know that overeating a sugar is linked to the depression? The underlying chronic inflammation that happens when we eat a high sugar diet negatively impacts the brain functions. And a study that was done in 2015 found that women who ate sugary foods with high glycemic index increased their risk of depression. As well as another study in 2017 found that the men who consume more than 67 grams of sugar in a day, they are increasing the depression. They are increasing the risk of depression in their body as well as when they are compared to the men who ate less than 40 grams of sugar per day. So in order to feel happier, you mind eating the sugar. The sixth benefit is that your skin will glow. Like a high sugar diet has been linked to skin conditions like acne, pimples, rashes and blemishes. And a study found in the journal Clinical Cosmetic and Investigative Dermatology shows how much more you are prone to have acne and other skin conditions when you are feeding your body with many more sugar-laden foods. And feeding your skin with a sugar-free diet one that's full of nutrient-dense foods, whole foods, and plenty of clean water will make your skin glow, radiating the energy in the surrounding. The seventh is you will age slower. If you want to stay young for longer periods, then you should stop eating sugar. This is especially true when it comes to your looks. If you want to look younger than your age, you should eat a nutrient-dense diet. Consuming a diet high in sugar makes your skin wrinkle faster. The reason for this wrinkling is that the glycation process. This is a process that happens when sugar undermines the collagen and elastin production in your skin. Inflammation is also another factor that leads to premature aging, and sugar is a definite contributor to the chronic inflammation. And reducing the inflammation, stop eating sugar, and you might just find your wrinkle days. So these are some benefits that are associated with limiting the intake of sugar in your body. I think there is one more thing that you should learn, is that how you should stop eating sugar for overall good health of your body. Like there will be people who will find that a tough transition from eating the sugar to going to just limiting the intake of sugar in their body. You can try giving up the sugar for 2 weeks to see just how much better you feel and how much better you do. And when you see the positive results from the short-term changes, you will be motivated to make the long-term changes necessary for the real transformation of your body. And knowing that the breaking the sugar habits is far from simple, when you decide to stop eating sugar, it won't be easy, but it will be worth it 100%. The conclusion that we can draw from this topic is that if you are hoping that omitting sugar from your diet will result in rapid, significant weight loss, however, eating more protein and following a regular exercise routine that includes both the cardio and the weight training is the key to lose your weight. So you should also take care of all these things in order to live a healthy life. So that's it for today's podcast, guys. If this podcast has added any good values to life, then please like and share with your loved ones you get the most. If you wanted to learn different topics from the food industry, from the food technology, then please consider to subscribe the channel. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, stay healthy. See you soon in the next one. Bye bye.